That's pretty. So who likes dry coffee cake? Me either. Your morning's about to get a whole lot better. We are going to make a tender, moist coffee cake with a delightful blend of cream cheese, fresh blueberries. We'll be topping it off with a buttery streusel topping, and I can't wait to get started. Preheat your ovens to 350 and let's get going. You're gonna need a 9-inch springform pan. I have generously greased the sides and the bottom of this, and then we're just gonna go ahead and put parchment paper in the bottom. I have a pre-cut one. You can purchase these or you can cut your own. This will help in the release when we're ready to pull it out of the pan. So we're gonna set this aside. The cake comes together very quickly, so we have a lot of ingredient prep to do, so we're gonna get started right away. First, you're gonna need 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. That's 170 grams. You need 1.5 cups of berries. That's 225 grams. Then you're gonna separate 2 eggs. You're gonna put an egg white in one dish and the yolk from that egg in the other dish, and then 1 whole egg. Now we're ready for our cream cheese layer. This is a package and a half of cream cheese. That's 12 ounces or 339 grams. We're gonna put in 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of sugar. It's 76 grams. And 1/2 of a teaspoon of vanilla for flavor. That is 2.5 milliliters. We are gonna blend this until it's smooth. Just to be easier on the blender, I'm gonna go ahead and just kinda smooth this a bit. We're gonna go ahead and blend this until it is smooth. Once your mixture looks like it's come together, you want to scrape the bowl down just so you have it all together. And then we're going to add our egg white in. Give that a mix. This is looking so light and creamy and yummy. Just scrape the bowl down again, and the cream cheese layer is now done and ready, and we're gonna set this aside. Next, we're making our streusel topping. You need 1/3 of a cup of sugar. I'm gonna put that just in a medium-sized bowl. That's 65 grams. 1/2 of a cup of flour. That's 63 grams. Didn't wanna come out. I'm just gonna give that a little stir with a fork. And then we need 4 tablespoons of cold butter. I just took this out of the fridge. You can use a pastry blender, you can use a fork, whatever it takes. You wanna smash this into little small pieces. I'm actually using a grater. It's a neat little trick. If you've never tried it, I would urge you to give it a try. This is 56 grams, by the way. You just want to slide that right across the grater. So I'm just finishing this last little bit. I have some melted butter on my fingers. You kind of have to work quickly if you do this, but it's so worth it. I want to show you what it looks like when it's all done. And look what you have, this beautiful little pile of butter pieces that you really don't have to work very hard for. If you're using a pastry blender or something like that, it's just a little more work. So I'd encourage you to try that sometime. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a stir, and then we'll work it with our hands a little bit. We want pea-sized pieces. So basically right now I'm just getting the butter all mixed in with the dry ingredients. I'm going to mix this until it's crumbly and pea-sized. So I'm just going to kind of work this. It's a warm day here today. My hands are warm. It won't take long for this to start melting a little bit. one of the easier ways to do this is kind of squeeze it in your hands, and it starts to form little pieces that stick together. It doesn't all have to stick together, but I want most of it too. So I'm going to go ahead and just sit this aside for now. Before we put it on the cake, we'll work with it just a little more, and this is pretty much done. So now we're going to prepare our dry ingredients for the cake. I'm excited because we're getting close. Once this is done, then we start putting it all together. First thing you want to do is put 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour into a larger bowl. That's 188 grams. A half teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon of baking soda. So lots of leavening things going on here. It is 2 grams of baking powder and 3 grams of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna whisk it. You wanna make sure that the baking soda and the baking powder are incorporated and the salt into the flour. Mix that really well. And I'm gonna put it right here on the table because we are about to get busy making a cake. This is truly where it all starts to come together now. I'm kind of excited. This is the last of the ingredient prep, I promise. And if you have a large bowl left, you either need to mix this in a large bowl, or I'm using my stand mixer here. We're gonna cream our butter and sugar. And I just want to tell you, I know that there are lots of ingredients that we've gone through here. As a gift to you, I have a recipe in the description below, so don't worry about writing things down or anything like that. I have the recipe, just click the link and you can print that out and follow along with the video, however that works for you. So you need 5.5 tablespoons of butter. That is 77 grams. This is at room temperature. Before I dump it, I just want to show you warm. It's not melted, but it's at room temperature, so it's nice and soft. And 100 grams of sugar, that is 1/2 cup. We want to cream this together until it is light and fluffy. Should take a couple minutes. Partway through, you want to scrape the bowl down. Unless you're using a hand mixer, it's easier to get the edges of the bowl, but if you're using a stand mixer, you probably want to scrape the bowl down. Everything seems to gather on the sides. And we do want to make sure this is incorporated and nice and light and fluffy before we move on. I'm going to turn the mixer down to stir, and I'm going to grab the eggs that we put in here earlier. Go ahead and add the eggs in. Then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We'll let that just kind of mix until it's smooth. You'll at least want to scrape down your bowl 1 time during this process. So our mixture is finally nice and smooth. It's coming together. Now we're going to start adding our dry and our wet ingredients. We're just going to alternate dry, wet, dry, wet. This is so fun. So we're going to take just a portion, no need to measure or anything like that. You're just going to put a portion of the dry ingredients in. Let that mix just for a moment. Then we're going to put half of the sour cream in. Again, no measurements needed, just kind of estimating half of the amount that's in the dish. It's kind of messy, but just let that keep mixing, and we're going to add another 1/3 of the dry ingredients in. And we're going to add the last part of the sour cream in. Then the last of the dry ingredients. And our cake batter is complete. Right, it is all incorporated. It looks smooth and kind of has a silky sheen to it. That is exactly what I was looking for. Now we're going to add some blueberries into this mixture. I'm going to add just a portion of them into the cake. We're just going to gently fold them in. No measuring needed, just add a few in there. And fold them as gently as you can, so we don't want them to break. Just kind of use the down, up, and over method. The folding is just kind of down, up, and over. And that should be good. Then we're going to go ahead and put this into our springform pan. Just want to gently spread this out, get it out to the edges. I'm saying gently because I don't want to smash any of the blueberries. I want them to stay whole. So just work your way around and gently get this out to the edges of the pan. Now we're adding our cream cheese layer on top of this. It's so fun we're putting this all together now. I'm going to put just a little bits here and there. I'm just going to start in the center and work my way out. We want to get this right out to the edges. Just smoothing it so it's nice and clean around the edges. Now we're going to sprinkle the blueberries on top of this. This is going to be so yummy. Okay. Last step is to put the streusel on top. And it's had a chance to sit a little bit. I'm just going to work with it a little more. Press it together in my hands. I'm trying to get some little bits like that they just end up looking really pretty. I don't want it just dry and powdery on top. I want some nice little pea-sized chunks in there. So this usually does the trick. Just squeeze it together in your hands a few times. And if you get some larger chunks in here, you can just break them up as you're putting it on. All the different little sizes just make it look pretty and give it some different texture on top once it's baked. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sprinkling this on. You just want a nice even coating the whole way around. So just keep sprinkling it till it's all on. This isn't even baked yet, and I think it looks so beautiful. It's so pretty. This is now ready for the oven. So we're going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 to 50 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. So the cake has been in for 55 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's done now. We're going to go ahead and do the toothpick check. I know one thing, it smells incredible. Just see how we're looking here. Oh, wow, it's gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to carefully put that into the center. I'm trying not to burn myself here. And it is coming out clean. So I'm going to go ahead and take this beauty out of the oven. Oh, it looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. Yay. Put this right on our cooling rack gently. So now we just wait for this to cool. It should take 2 to 3 hours, and then we will meet back here to take it out of our springform pan. See you in a bit. So this is nice and cool. It's beautiful. I am super happy with it. We're going to go ahead and cut into this and have a bite. So no words, this speaks for itself. Look how beautiful, look at this. You definitely have to try this. I'm gonna try a bite. This is so good. The cake is really tender. There's blueberries all through it. The cream cheese is swirled all through this, and the streusel topping, and the berries kind of explode in your mouth. I can't think of anything better right now. So thank you for sticking with me to the very end. You get to see the completed product. No more dry coffee cakes. You have an amazing recipe right here in the description. And if you enjoyed doing this and you learned some things, if you hit the subscribe button, I release a new video every Sunday and we'll get to do it again together. Hope to see you soon.